Hey everyone, Ben the Bar Guy here, back with another video to help you make better drinks. Today we're going to be talking about the whiskey sour. We're not talking about your dad's sour, we're talking about the classic sour, the one with egg white and that nice frothy top. It's a little bit tricky, but with these tips and tricks, once you learn them, you'll be making killer sours every time, impressing everybody in front of you, even at home, guests, bars, doesn't matter, you'll make killer sours. So, wash your hands, grab a jigger, let's make better drinks. Alright everybody, Ben the Bar Guy here to teach you how to make a whiskey sour traditionally. That means, to us, that means with egg white. However, the original sours were really just a form of punch and they didn't have egg white. They were actually closer to your dad's sour in the 1800s. The first mention of a cocktail book of a sour is Jerry Thomas's 1862 Bon Vivant's Companion, the very first compendium of cocktails. That does not include an egg white. It is just essentially a punch in a glass, even over cracked ice. So sour to them meant citrus and sugar put together, sometimes gum syrup for the sugar, and it was basically a punch in a glass, okay? However, over time, the eggs started getting used, and today we perhaps incorrectly say the traditional sours have egg white, non-traditional sours do not, and that's because prior to World War II and Prohibition, people were calling sours with egg whites more commonly. And then after Prohibition and World War II, our father's generation, my father's generation, started making drinks without the egg white. So to us, the traditional means something along the lines of the Jazz Age instead of probably the 1800s, okay? But let's start, let's begin. So you're gonna need 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice. When we do lemons, we might, in a juicer like this, we might do a little cross cut just to make sure they don't fold in on themselves. Lemon peels also are a touch bitter. If you watched our daiquiri video, which I'll link in the description, you will note I talk about how the lime peel, if the juicer pushes down or the juice touches it, will add a hint of bitterness to the drink. Lemon peels do less of that, but you can still get a little bitterness from the peel, which for this drink we don't really want. All right, 3/4 of an ounce of citrus, lemon juice in this case, goes into the tin. 3/4 of simple syrup. And again, guys, if you watched the daiquiri video, we talked about the tins, weighted tins. They're very inexpensive. We get ours from barproducts.com. We do not use cobbler shakers here. That's the one with the strainer built into a little top you take off. I've seen great cocktails made with those. Japanese bartenders love them. Don't knock it until you try it. However, we like to use giant ice cubes and they fit better in here. And when we shake really hard, we get great results with these tins. That's why we use them, okay? So now we have our weak portion. What's a weak portion? That's our citrus and sugar measured out, good to go. Notice, no ice. No ice yet. Egg, haven't even talked about it yet, okay? Measure your citrus and sugar first, and the reason is that they're usually the least expensive ingredients. So if you happen to make a mistake, you throw those away and you don't feel bad about it. As soon as you start using other products, you go up the pay scale, and if you make a mistake, you gotta throw it away, you lost more money. So don't do that. We prefer bourbon over rye in the whiskey sour, but just barely. I would love a rye sour in a heartbeat. Or if you use rye and cognac or rye and applejack, that's a harvest sour variation. It's fantastic. So use whatever booze you like. However, make sure it's about 86 proof. Turns out egg white doesn't froth as much with higher alcohol. So in that case, make sure that you don't use really high proof booze, like over 100, you'll have trouble getting a nice froth. And if you use booze that's 80 proof, you'll get too much dilution. So that 86 proof booze really the sweet spot, and we'll talk more about ranges later and why it helps with that too. Egg, okay? When we crack the egg, what we really want to do is just use the side of the tin. Now, if you break shell into the tin, you're using the big tin, not the small tin with your drink in there, right? So it's not going to mix, and you can fish out the shell if you have to, okay? You don't have to break on the side of the tin too. A chef would always tell you break on a flat surface like the counter. I'm just not very good at that. So I crack here, and we don't want the yolk. We just want the white in this cocktail's case, okay? You don't need the whole white, but you do need at least one plop, okay? So I got enough egg white in there. I got about half an ounce of egg white. A lot of people diverge on what to do next here. Here at Reliable Tavern, we like to make a meringue for the top of the drink. And meringues are best made in warm temperature, okay? If anyone's had a meringue on a dessert, like a lemon meringue pie, that was made probably at room temp because the meringue fluffs up better that way. Air gets incorporated into the meringue better at room temperature. Some people think of eggs as an emulsion, more like a salad dressing, okay? And salad dressings, if you've ever made those, are best made or emulsify best when it's cold. So these people like to do what's called a reverse dry shake or a wet shake for their egg whites. And what they'll do is they'll take the ice right now, they'll shake the drink, then they'll get the ice out, they'll strain it off, and then they will shake the egg white in, okay? And then they'll strain out their drink. Our issue with that is that we don't think this is an emulsion. We don't need to suspend particles that have opposite charges, which is what emulsions do. Emulsions take oil and vinegar and they suspend them using something like a mustard, an emulsifier, to keep them together, right? Well, we don't really have that here. The booze and the egg white, I don't really need them to go together. I want the egg white on top for texture, and the booze can be on the bottom if they don't coalesce. I don't really mind, but you'll see we'll get plenty of interaction between the egg and the drink by just dry shaking first. And so this is what we do. We make this meringue and we dry shake at room temp. We don't approve of the emulsion method because the bartender's hands are warming up the drink in the tin at the time they're reverse dry shaking. So that is a problem for us. We don't want our drinks to ever be served warm. The minute they come out, they are served as fast as possible because we want the guests to get the coldest drink possible. Let's just talk about the dry shake. We need to get this to become nice and fluffy, all right? Now I haven't even started chilling a glass yet. I'm just gonna shake this. There's no ice in there, okay? We're just trying to get air incorporated into the drink. And you can do that with just a quick, rapid shake. When you do that, I can hold it with one hand. You may wanna do this, but you want it to be nice and loose and whippy, okay? My arm's really loose and relaxed. That also will keep you from getting out of breath if you shake for a while, okay? And this is what happens. Pop that open. And now we have a nice, fluffy, beautiful. Now sometimes the egg expands and this can pop on you, so make sure you really seal it down hard because that expands and pops the drink open. Okay, now I'm gonna chill a glass. At Reliable Tavern, we like to chill with liquid nitrogen. Okay, that's liquid nitrogen in there. All right, it's bubbling around, okay? Very cold, but because of the lead and frost effect, which is that the liquid evaporates so quickly it creates a little bubble of air, of nitrogen gas, air, around the dangerous liquid nitrogen that you can actually pour it on yourself and it doesn't even hurt, okay? So relatively safe, except if it gets trapped on you. If I were to pour this down my shirt and it was trapped against my body, it would give me a little bit of frostbite. If I were to drink this, it would be devastating and would be really painful. So we usually don't even put this near guests just in case they think that's their drink or something, or they get wowed and they touch it. Just keep it away from them. But you guys can put it in a freezer and you'll be fine. Your glasses, that is, you can put them in a freezer and you'll be fine. They'll have a nice frost on them. But notice, right here, the handle's dry. We really like that here at Reliable Tavern. The fact that the handle's dry and you're not creating condensation on the bar is really nice. And this is a nice cold glass. Look at that thing, it's freezing cold. And that's gonna keep the drink colder longer for your guests. Really important. You're giving the guests as long as possible with a drink that's up so that they can enjoy it at their leisure, okay? One last shake, dry shake. You don't have to shake this long, but because I've been talking, I'm gonna re-fluff it up, okay? Now immediately, as soon as you open this, you wanna get an ice cube on there and start shaking. So I added a nice big cube, okay? Now I seal it up. You wanna do that as quick as possible. Now this ice cube wasn't tempered, but it was such a big one. I don't think it's gonna shatter on me. You know, when we're talking about shaking, make sure you shake loose and hard. You wanna be whippy. Think like a Pete Sampras serve. He didn't look stiff. He was a whip. He turned his whole body into a whip. You want to do that when you're shaking. Okay. Crack this open. Now importantly, we're going to close the gate on this strainer, like so, closed gate, and we're going to pour low and slow. Low and slow, meaning don't rise up for an egg white drink. You don't need that. Okay, maybe with a citrus drink, you can rise high, get a little bubbles. You're generating fake bubbles, but at least they look bubbly, you get a froth. Egg white, you want calm, placid, okay? In order to do that, you really need a low and slow strain. You want it to just be no bubbles, but egg bubbles, no air bubbles. We also don't want what we affectionately call, or disaffectionately call, dog's balls, okay? Dog's balls are where we didn't dry shake well enough, and you get these little ripply bubbles throughout your drink. It's not very good looking, hence the name, okay? Now, we have this beautiful drink. It's ready to go. You can see egg pretty well incorporated, okay? It wasn't an emulsion, but we got it incorporated. Looks pretty good. The top, smooth, okay? No crazy air bubbles, nothing from doing all this, okay? I think you can kind of skip that anyway, in my opinion, but if you want to be fancy, okay. All right, now we're just gonna drop 5 little drops of bitters, okay? Droppers are nice, makes it nice and easy. You don't want too much bitters, okay? Bitters in the sour with egg, see that? Just 4, 5 little drops. Bitters in the sour with egg was just to make any funkiness from the egg. Egg sometimes can smell a little weird. That's supposed to make that go away, okay? That's really the purpose, the primary purpose. Now I like to just run a straw through it like that. Okay, looks nice, right? That's very simple. Looks great. Now we taste, okay? Straw taste. Put your finger over a straw, taste. Okay, I like the wash line. It's where it's supposed to come up to. The drink tastes balanced. It's cold. I think we're okay here. We're within range. Tastes good. The next drink, I'm gonna make the exact same way, okay? And that's the process we go through when we taste. Does it look right? Or is the wash line right? Then we taste it. Right amount of water? Is the temperature right? Does the drink taste like the booze, like the citrus, or does it taste like everything came together to create something different? The whiskey sour, it's its own unique thing. That's important, that's called synergy. We want a drink to be greater than the sum of its parts. If it tastes like lemon juice, then it's not balanced. If it tastes like whiskey, just whiskey, that stands out, then it's not balanced. It should taste like something completely new, okay? I like to call that butter. It actually tastes like butter to me, and I know that sounds crazy, and it may not taste like that to you, but when a drink is perfectly made, I find that it tastes almost like butter. It has a whole new flavor. It almost tastes like fatty to me, like fat. It's crazy, but you'll figure out on your own how that tastes like. Now, I would have put this in front of a guest a while ago, but even now, you can see it started to settle a bit, but look how that nice, beautiful froth lives on top. That's what we're talking about. That's a sour. Okay? So excited about drinking this. All right. As always, guys, cheers to better drinks. You guys stay safe out there. Thanks for joining me today. Have a good one, guys. Bye. Hey, guys, before you go, I would be remiss if I didn't mention my employer, where I'm the general manager, Reliable Tavern in Petworth, Washington, D.C., where we do all these videos and trainings for bartenders just like the ones we're doing on these YouTube videos. And you also can get our products on DC to Go, a local company that also is great. It doesn't take too much for us to get delivered items to you, mostly cocktails to go. And so if you guys want to reach out and order, I will put the links to the website and a link to DC to Go, where you guys can get our stuff in the DC area. We've always believed at Reliable Tavern that a great tavern should be commonplace, not hard to find. If you guys have time or if you're in the area, come check us out at Reliable Tavern. Thank you guys for watching the video, and like always, to better drinks. See you guys.